My people, the 25th of Jan 2025, the reverse fixture between Manchester City and Chelsea Football Club. Feels like a lifetime ago that it was game week 1 and Enzo Maresca was facing up his mentor of sorts in Pep Guardiola. Both managers have had fluctuated seasons. You know, Pep had that spell of 6, 7, 8 bad results. Maresca, the last 6 or 7, you could say, has been a slump in form in terms of him as a manager. But they go head to head again at the Etihad this time around, guys. So let's break it down. Let's see how do Chelsea approach a Man City team that are picking up form, hungry for goals. They've scored 14 in their last 2 games and conceded none, whilst Chelsea have had some dismal results, had to scrape a win against Wolves to some degree, but we're back to winning ways as Chelsea. And we're happy about that. So both teams go into this game with confidence. Of course, Man City have a Champions League game in between against PSG. We'll see the result of that game. But Chelsea. Let's get into it, guys. We'll start off with Man City, right? And Man City have switched things up because I think Pep Guardiola has finally realized that the Rodri gap is bigger than he anticipated and that 2 players need to fill the void that Rodri filled over the last 4 seasons. We all know that the Ballon d'Or winner is a major key figure in Man City's gameplay and how they control the games overall. Man City are a team that hold possession. We all know this. So how will Man City approach the game? I see Matheus Nunes, Phil Foden, of course Haaland, and Kevin De Bruyne as the 4 key players that we need to look out for as Chelsea. Of course, in midfield, Kovacic has more license to go forward. We're banking on the fact that Kovacic will start alongside Gundogan for control, with Gundogan likely to be the sitter of sorts and Kovacic helping in the defensive shape. Whilst Matheus Nunes has taken up this role where he's a sort of inverted right back that moves forward and becomes a right wing, occupying the space that Foden will start the game in when Foden drifts into the midfield to make up numbers alongside Kevin De Bruyne. So in terms of an attacking threat, City attack with a front 5 of sorts. Who's going to start on the left wing? That's the key point also. We have to consider, could it be Grealish? Could it be Jeremy Doku? Could it be Savinho? Could be either of the 3. For this analysis, we'll go with Jeremy Doku. I think he's been in fine form over the last 3-4 games for Man City. So on the left, if we have Doku, the right side, we have Foden, in quotes, as a right wing / cam. It's going to be interesting on how we set up as Chelsea defensively. Now, in a defensive shape, I think we actually go with a back 5. So in terms of formations, Chelsea should go for 5-1-3-1. I know it's strange, guys. 5-1-3-1 with Caicedo being part of a back 5, the box-to-box midfielder being Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. And I think somehow we play the more attacking countering style. So it's going to be possession and control from City's end because City are at home, and on our side it's more rapid counter-attacking football. And I think Maresca would be going with the right approach in terms of respecting Man City and their possession but countering in the right moments. We need hard work from Pedro Neto on the right wing and Jadon Sancho, who I'm going with, on the left wing. And who should start as a striker? I know most of us would see Jackson definitely starting this game, but I feel we need to start with Christopher Nkunku and bring Jackson off the bench in the second half when City are a bit tired, in quotes, and then Jackson's energy can come into the game. If we're behind, we can definitely score. If we're ahead, we just pounce on them a bit more. And if it's a drawn game by that point, I think Jackson's presence will just impact us in the right way. So yes, in terms of how City approach the game, key points for me, guys. We have to stop that rapid supply to the wingers. City are trying to move the ball across the pitch, side to side. Rarely do they switch the ball in the air. So they try and get the ball in a position where Foden's on the flank or Matheus Nunes is on the flank, Doku's on the flank, and they have a chance on goal. And rarely are they looking for Haaland unless Haaland is making that lethal run through the middle. We all know Haaland is trying to bring that element of his game where he drops in, becomes that number 9 that holds up the play. But overall, Haaland wants to run in behind. He's that sort of number 9. So we have to stop those into the wingers sort of play. And how do we do that? I think man marking on the wings is the right thing to do. Cucurella and Reece James have to be on their men. And I think in terms of like understanding of the game, those are our senior players. Malo Gusto could start the game, but with Reece James fit, I think Gusto comes off the bench for this game. And definitely, I feel their level of understanding in terms of the game. Reece on the right, Cucurella on the left. Cucurella inverting only in the right moments, you know? He doesn't need to invert full time like other games. Definitely not. And then another thing, we need to force crosses. I know it's weird, but we need to force Matheus Nunes to be crossing on the left. Somehow, we need to nullify Josko Guardiola on the left side. On the right side, Matheus Nunes does like to cross on his right foot, and he's going to flank, as we said, into the right wing positions. So if there's no supply from Kevin De Bruyne, Phil Foden isn't really getting much because he's being man-marked. You could say Cucurella sticking on Foden, Moises Caicedo sticking on Kevin De Bruyne. And then, you know, Haaland doesn't have supply. You know, we genuinely need to stop those moments. We need to ensure there's man marking in the right moments, zonal marking in other moments, and then we move forward as a team. I am the one. Now, we have to force the crosses. It's not a joke, guys. We need to force these crosses. So for us, I think it's more of a 5-1-3-1, as I said. City would definitely shape up in more of a 3-2-4-1. As we said, 5 in attack. It's a back 4 that becomes a back 3. Guardiola, Akanji, and Ruben Diaz in the middle. You know, as they've been playing over the last 3 games, as they went in the Brentford game, which everyone would say City should have won that game, honestly. It was a good game from City, but then they just slept in the last 8 to 10 minutes. So it's going to be a huge game, guys. Huge game. In terms of results, it's 4th versus 5th. If City win, they topple us and they go above us. We win and we keep the gap between us, 3rd and 2nd, a bit tighter. And Maresca would love that. And City can't do the double over us, guys. Not in a season where City have been fluctuating.
Hey, man, what's your business, man? What's your business? Now, let me tell you something because you don't know nothing.
We can't allow them to do a double against us. Come on. Come on, let's get a result here, guys. It's going to be a huge game, as we said. Let me know your thoughts, guys. In terms of formation, I think having Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall as the box-to-box midfielder is a huge positive for Chelsea. Get the ball into Palmer rapidly. A front 4 of sorts in attack with the wingers, Nkunku and Palmer. Palmer could actually be the most advanced player because Nkunku is also comfortable dropping into the mid and becoming a central attacking midfielder. So that increases numbers in the mid in terms of us winning the ball back and moving the ball forward. Yes, I keep saying Nkunku, but it could be Nicholas Jackson. It could definitely be Nicholas Jackson, guys. The rotation has to happen, though. Jackson's had a bit of a shaky period of games right now. Nkunku definitely wants to start. Some of us might even want Joao Felix in this game. But in terms of countering, we need pace. We need players that get past people. And as much as Felix can dribble the ball, I think decision-making wise, Jadon Sancho on the left has been great. And of course, you know, Sancho's a Man City product. He's definitely going to be hungry to prove a point in Manchester. Definitely so. And then Pedro Neto had a bit of a shaky game against Wolves. You would have thought that he'd do well against his former club, but he came off and he was sort of hugging Maresca, almost apologizing for his performance. So I think Maresca will give him the nod and he will start against Manchester City. Big game here, guys. Big game. I was trying my best to analyze things, look at the formations, how best do we approach the game. And I genuinely feel if we approach it with a back 5, one holding midfielder that's a box-to-box in Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, and then Nkunku and Palmer in almost free roaming positions, we have a chance to beat City at the Etihad. Let's get it, y'all.